Good morning, everyone. How are we all today? I hope you're all fine. New week, new nonsense in the papers, no doubt. I noticed one of the things that didn't make the headlines here today was really the Labour Party conference. There is a mention of Sarwar that's related to the conference, but that's about it. It would appear that Jock here is not supposed to know what's happening or what they're proposing to happen to us. Not with us, but to us. Shut up, phone. Right, anyway, here we go. Who's in? Hi, Rosalind. Hi, Rosie. Stephen Nichol. Good morning, Christina. Hi, Melanie. Reagan Elite. Good morning. That's a handy list. Stephen Bankier, Martin Hibby, Wolfpet, Last Braveheart, Alan Arnott, Gary, Weebird, Indy Duck Mel, John Stevens, Hootsman, Lorna Shields, Peter M, Anna Chisholm, and Graham Eason. And I see the other Davies there, and John McGowan's there, and Robert Wilson's there, and quite a lot easier there. Let's put it that way. Morning, John Baxter. Mind folks, Reagan a Week goes live right after this programme. Morning, Gary. Peter. Anna. Well, numbers are climbing nicely, so let's get this one underway, shall we? It's Indy Truck Davy out the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is a nice morning, sunny, 9 degrees. Today's high will be 13, apparently. Humidity is at 76% and wind speeds between 5 and 10 mile an hour. And the pollen count's low, main allergen is grass. Now that's what the weather's like here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know what the weather's like where you are, look out your own bloody windy. There we go. Right, first up this morning we've got the Rancid. We don't put the Rancid up, but it's got McGill ejected from Dubai. Get out and don't come back. Mob boss banished from Kingdom on his release for prison. Have no idea what the story is about. Have no inclination about. I've no intention of finding out what the story is about. Apparently, some gangster was banged up in a foreign prison. Knew he's been ejected from that country. Well, deporting foreign criminals is something that this government's all up for. So they can expect to import our own criminals from foreign lands. Right, okay. Next up, we'll get the Times. Let's see what nonsense it's got for us this morning, shall we? If I can find the bloody thing. It'll be one of your mornings, folks. So as. Here we go, the Times. Hopefully things get better after that. We are already in hybrid war with Putin, says ex-spy chief. So apparently we're at it online. All right, no guns, nothing, just a wee bit of teasing each other back and forth on the internet. There you go. Immigrants face good citizens test to stay in UK. Good citizen test. The fuck's a good citizen's test? Anybody get any idea? A good citizen's test. For a start, it's a monarchy, so they're not fucking subjects, they're no citizens. So why doesn't it say immigrants face good subject test to stay in UK? Don't know if anybody's noticed, but the constitutional arrangement here in the UK is monarch, head of state, lends sovereignty to the Lords and the Commons. Subjects vote for the people and the Commons. The word is subject, no citizen. Fuck's sake. Can't even get the basics right, these fucking rags. Mental. Right, next up after that, we've got the Telegraph, which is the norm. Let's get it up. See if it's got his daft a bloody headline, shall we? Good citizen test. We're all subjects. Fuck. Don't even understand what a monarchy is, these rags. Jeez, oh. Migrants on benefits to be barred from UK. Migrants on benefits to be barred from UK. What is this obsession with fucking people who have come here to live and make their way in lives? We're all fucking migrants from somewhere. The human population's been on the fucking move since it stood up on two legs. This is fucking racism. That's what that is. And by the way, the reason the migrants are coming here is because we're causing war and destruction where they fucking comfy. Maybe if we stop supplying them with weapons and start supplying them with fucking the needs to build up their societies and become self-sustaining, then they wouldn't need to fucking move. Migrants on benefits to be barred from UK. We've got a fucking population crisis. We've got a workforce crisis. We've got a failing demographic. And this is a bollocks you get in the papers. Where's the fucking truth? Why aren't the government telling the people the truth that we need people? Lots of people. Fuck. Only a couple of headlines in and I'm going mental here. Radio rental time, folks. Next up, we've got the anti-Scotsman Scotsman. So we'll put it up. What's that got this morning? Stop letting reform set the agenda, says Sarwar. Guess what, Sarwar? Just like the fucking rest of us, Farage isn't listening to you, you spanner. But that gets funnier as we go on, and I mean that. Stop letting reform set the agenda, says Sarwar. Who cares what Sarwar's going to say? Who the fuck's listening to him? Nobody, as it turns out. They're looking as if they're going to become, they look as if they're going to come behind reform in the next fucking election here in Scotland. Sarwar. Cracks you up, man. Right. After the Scotsman, we've got the Metro. What's the Metro go for us this morning? PM reform plan is racist. Starmer attack after polling blows. So Starmer's decided he's going to have a go at Nigel Farage and reform because the latest polling shows that he is by far the least popular Prime Minister of the last 2 centuries. Meaning the 2000s and the 21st so far. Mental. Absolutely mental. But reform's plan is racist. Him pandering to the calls of reform on immigration doesn't seem to be working for him. Maybe he should do what we need him to do, and that is take this fucking on. Head on. Call it out for what it is. If this is the start of it, well, maybe he'll manage something before the boot gets his arse booted out on number 10. Because that's his direction of travel. Right out the fucking door. Sir Larry the Cat there will be wondering who he's getting as his next tenant. Because this thing's not going to last much longer. And apparently he's been dodging tax legitimately, of course, on a field behind his mod's house, where his mum and dad kept donkeys. So much for working class. Right, let's get rid of that fucking nonsense. Of course, reform's plan's racist. That's their whole fucking platform. State the obvious. Right, the Daily Fails next, folks. always guaranteed to let us down. Show the UK at its worst. What's that go for us? After PM attacks reforms a moral policy on scrapping leave to remain, Farage blasts back. Worried about immigration? Starmer says you're a racist. Starmer's fucking right. Never thought I'd say that, but Starmer's fucking right. Farage and reform appeal to the fucking least of us. And they are fucking racists. They're racist, they're bigots, they're fucking anything else you can mention. Rapists, child molester, wife beaters. They are the least of us. And why these fucking rags keep platform Nigel Farage, I have no idea. 4 or 5 MPs, he's not even worth a fucking mention. Not a mention. And yet, for some reason, the UK press is pushing this guy. There's questions to be asked here. Why are they pushing this guy? What's the story? As society breaks down, as public services fail, as the water fills up with shite. That's if you're in England. Here you can excuse the water, but that doesn't fill up with shite. But the rest of it's more or less the same. Fucking mental. Oh, I'm in one of the moods this morning, people. I really am. I can't be bothered with this crap this morning. Next up we have the Eye. So let's see what the Eye's got for us this morning, shall we? Sarwar confident he will prove the pollsters wrong at next year's parliamentary elections. Apparently Sarwar still thinks he's going to be the next fucking First Minister of Scotland. Oh dear. Now he's going to prove the pollsters wrong, is he? Let's see what the pollsters are saying, shall we? The latest poll here in Scotland. Survation poll. SNP in 37% of vote share. Labour on 20%. Reform in 18%. Conservative on 11%. Lib Dems on 7% and Greens on 5%. That's the voting intentions for Westminster. Here it's here. SNP 35%. Reform 19%. Labour 19%. 12% for the cons. Lib Dems on 8% and 4% for the Greens. So it would appear the pollsters think Sarwar's fucking wrong. So do the rest of us think he's wrong. He's definitely off his meds and off his head. So he is. Right, well, we'll see what the Nationals go for us this morning. See if we get something to get off I'm not about. I'm in that sort of mood. We can find the bloody thing. Try again. Right, here we go, the National. Who's really calling the shots in Whitehall? Who's really calling the shots in Whitehall? Why is it asking such a stupid question? The answer's Morgan McSweeney. Who's his master? Is a better question. But that's who's calling the shots in Whitehall. Morgan McSweeney. As I say, the better question is who's his paymaster? And I think the answer is Murdoch. But I'm not quite sure. Thanks, Stephen. Thank you very much. It's time to start getting it back out the door, actually. So who's really calling the shots in Whitehall? The answer is Morgan McSweeney. The question is, who does he answer to? You're into that. And after the National we have the Herald. Let's stick it up and see what nonsense that's got on the front page today. Lack of leadership blamed as bullying rises in schools. Now, apparently, ministers have been asked to get a grip in this. And I'm saying, what the fuck's it going to do with ministers? The running of our schools are done by our local authorities. The ministers set the policy, the agenda, the curriculum. And the guidance goes to local authorities, and then the local authorities do the rest. And if there's a lack of leadership in schools, what happened to headmasters? Do we not have them anymore? Do we not have headmasters anymore leading the schools? I don't know what that's all about. Lack of leadership blamed as bullying in school rises. I think you'll find it's the same as it's always fucking been. It's always been there. Right, after the Herald, we've got the Scum, and we don't put that up. Get off one's land. Park closed off as Wills moves in. So apparently Will and Kate have moved into somewhere, so they've shut the land off to give them their privacy. And it's apparently, it was opened as a park, but it's not a park anymore. It's their front garden, or back garden, or their estate, whatever way you want to put it. Okay, so apparently, and I couldn't be arsed looking to see what park it was they were shutting off so that they could move in, because I have very little interest in the royal family. The only thing I really know about the royal family is the lair that sits above William and Kate are a bunch of sexual fucking deviants. The king, not just an adulterer, probably a paedophile. His best mate was Jimmy Savile. And his brother's definitely a paedophile. His best mate was fucking Epstein. Wow. So I've got very little interest in royal stories or the royal family. They're just fucking deviants. It's just to get away with it because somebody's bestowed them with a reverence that they don't fucking deserve. Unbelievable. Anyway, get off one's land. Aye, right. Next up, we'll get the Guardian. Let's see what it's got for us this morning. Or I'll get Loney Rag the Express first, so let's see what Loney Rag the Express has got for us this morning. Scottish voters turning to Team Farage in run-up to Holyrood election. Reform surge pushes party up in the polls. Well, it just means another unionist party is not going to do so fucking well, eh? Because let's face it, the formation of reform when it comes to the Scottish parliamentary election and the way that Scotland divided at the moment is a favour for the SNP. Because they're going to fractionalise the unionist vote again. Great stuff. And when we get to see the percentage of the populace that votes for reform in the Scottish parliamentary election, it'll give us a good idea of how many undereducated fucking idiots there are in the country. Better known as this lot's fucking readers, the knuckle draggers. So we'll see how things go at our parliamentary election next May. And we'll find out for sure how many fucking racist, bigoted knuckle draggers are actually in Scotland. Okay. You think I might be being a wee bit harsh here, folks? Let me know in the comments. But as far as I'm concerned, when you look at the polls and you see that the 17% of the Scottish population planning voting for an English nationalist racist, you've got to say to yourself, how fucking poor is the education system got here? An English nationalist fucking racist bigot. Not even a Scottish nationalist racist fucking bigot. No, they're going to vote for an English nationalist racist bigot. An English nationalist who's going to jump all over them. Fucking mind boggles. And you're right, Sir Harry the Cat. The lunatics have taken over the fucking asylum. Well, that was you, Stephen. Reform surge pushes party up the polls. They say I'm looking forward to actually seeing the percentage of people who actually vote for this fucking English nationalist racist bigot shit here in Scotland. At this point in time, the poll says 17% of people here in Scotland are dumb enough and are racist biggest pricks that want to vote for an English nationalist. Wow. You know what they say about the ill-informed, eh? Nice one. Let's stay at them. We'll see what the Guardian's got for us. Can't be any fucking stupider than that. Or could it? I'm getting quite cynical in my old age, folks. What you hint? All right, the Guardian. What's that got for us this morning? Reform racist migrant plan could tear Britain apart, says PM. Reform's racist migrant plans could tear Britain apart, says PM. What about your aim, you fucking dickhead? Well, it's right. Reform's racist migrant plans could tear Britain apart. It's all those people who have been given leave to stay, has their leave to stay taken away after they've been here for 30 or 40 years. It doesn't matter what country in the world you go to. There'll be people living there who haven't taken up citizenship of that country, but they have been granted leave to stay. You take away that right to that leave, you take away that grant of leave to stay, then they're free to be deported. People who have been here and kept their own citizenship all their lives, but have lived here for most of their lives, could be deported. That's going to rip families apart. And it will tear the very fabric of society apart. I can assure you that. I mean, don't get me wrong. When I settled in Germany, I thought I was going to be there for the rest of my life. I took citizenship. But not everybody does. Some people just want the right to remain. And most societies and countries have that ability for you to do that. To keep your own identity and citizenship from wherever you come from without having to become a dual citizen. Or in the case of the UK, a subject and a citizen. Because I'm fed up with this fucking citizen shit. But people need to realise that in a monarchy, you don't have citizens, you have subjects. You have subjects, not citizens. This is how you know that you're getting hit with propaganda, when they're telling you shit that just isn't right. When your brain tells you, hold on a minute, what's this citizenship? Shit. We live in a monarchy. Get to know your constitutional arrangement. Right, done with that one. That means there's only one thing left to go, and that is the Star. What's the Star got for us this morning? The Star's got the news Oasis fans were waiting for. Gig forever. Liam tells fans, see you next year. So they're going to come and fleece the fans for another 20 billion or whatever the fuck it was they made in this one. It would appear they like making money again, these two. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. who cares if Oasis is going to be back next year to play another concert? If you can afford the Lecky bill next year to put on a concert. Ah, well. Nah, no boffins. Neil, haven't any boffins in the Star for a while. Star's been a bit of a letdown for a while. We all like a boffin or two. But it appears we're not getting any. Christ, we flew through that today. And I'm not surprised folks had to go and get half the headlines for the English paper review, because a lot of them are missing for the Scottish papers this morning. Especially the fight between Starmer and Farage. Well, the racist shit. That wasn't in the Scottish paper review. You had to go across the border to get that. Because Jock's not supposed to know what's going on. That's why there's no mention of what happened in the Labour conference either. But I dare say that was Dilly's fucking dishwater anyway. But racists are shite of the salary, quite right. Pair of dodgers. Right, that's it for this morning. Let's hope I'm feeling less whimsical this afternoon. Because I've really been at it. When I seen the headlines this morning, I just could not be fucked. But you got to, haven't you? You just got to. Right, so we see this afternoon to talk about some of the dafter stuff that's been going on, like Donny and what's going on across the water and things like that. So, and we'll talk about why digital ID cards have never been introduced and probably fucking won't be, unless there's a change in circumstances. So if you don't know why it is that the digital ID system has never got up and running, even though 5 prime ministers have tried to introduce it, tune in this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Okay.